What is going on, my people? You know who it is, and if you don't, you're about to find out.
How's it going, everybody? Steven here from Adolescence.
Be right back. What is going on, my people? You know who it is, and if you don't, you're about to find out. I am the one, the only, never duplicated Solano of Peru, and I have my special guest.
Thank you for visiting. My name is Steven. I have a YouTube channel called Adolescence. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. So today we have a special one. To my new subscribers, welcome. And we have today a special treat kind of a thing. We always talk about fragrances, but we never talk about what type of memories they bring. And today, that's what we're going to talk about. We have our 5 fragrances that give us memories of a special time. Yeah. And we're going to start off with Steven's 5.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You want me to do 5 at once, or you want to alternate, or how do you
want
to do
it? We'll alternate.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. But I'll start things off. So the first one that I'm going to go for is actually one of the first one that I ever bought. And this is a fragrance that kind of shaped my appreciation for designer fragrances. And I know this is one that a lot of people aren't that crazy about just because it's a little bit on the challenging side. But it's the mid-90s release by Jacques Couclier, and this is for Thierry Mugler, and it's called Amen, or Angel for Men. And I remember being at Sephora, and I've always wore like Dior's and Chanel's, but some of like the easier going scents. And this is one of the ones that I tried, and it was just so different with like the ethyl maltol, the caramel, the patchouli, and I was like, wow, this is great. And this is the one that really funded or started my appreciation for gourmands.
Right, that's like the gourmand king.
Love that stuff
because
so
Givenchy failed with it, but Amen took place and just hit it off the roof with gourmands.
I wore Pie a lot too, though.
I like
Pie is a good one.
Pie reminds me of my father.
Really?
Yeah, he used to wear that. Yeah, he had the cowbell looking type of thing one.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I know which one you're talking about. With the thing at the top.
Yeah. So now it's my turn, and the one that I have here is really, to me, the one that I found at Steven's house was Serious Road by Givenchy. Speaking of Givenchy, nice input on it. But this one's really nice. It's really unique, and when I sprayed it right now at his house, it wasn't going to be on my list, but this one was, and I really love it. It's a special connection that brought me back to the time back when I was a little kid and didn't care about wearing anything, just threw this on. I had the original formulation of it, and this one was just everything to me. Made me feel nice. Didn't care. Like back then when you're a little kid, you don't really care about what you wear or what type of scent it is, whether it's winter, summer. You just wear it to wear. You just have fun. And this was one of my go-to fragrances back in the day.
You got that right, for sure. Yeah, very sentimental scent for me as well. Definitely one of the ones that I bought when I started doing some of my first hauls. So the next one that is on my list, I suppose, is one that I discovered back then when there was an event, I think it was 2012, at Ming, New York in Manhattan. And another fragrance reviewer who was a good smeller, which was a group of people who visited stores and they did reviews in the New York area. His name is Cody, and he has a channel called Drakdoc. And I remember him walking into Ming, New York, and he pulls this fragrance out from the inside of his pea coat. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, which one is that? And he had me smell it, and I just remember that agarwood plum combination was so amazing. And unfortunately, this is a fragrance that's discontinued now, but it's by Bond No. 9, and it's called Andy Warhol. Really, really well done. Very unique fragrance, and I'm so lucky to have a bottle in my collection.
Really sentimental. This was actually one of my new buys, and this is where I really did get close to Steven back in Perfumology. Remember when I
do remember that,
met again for the second time, and I bought my first fragrance of Inicio, and I started smelling them, and Near Guy was actually the guy that gave me the samples to smell this, and at first I didn't like it, but it was love at first sniff. It was give it a couple tries, and I liked it, and my brother gave it to me for Christmas, and it became a sentimental scent for me, and this one is nice. Blessed Baraka, because my brother gave it to me, and I also baptized my godson with this one. And I was talking to Steven nice. a couple hours before I baptized my godson, what scent do I want? Yep. Where? What was between Aventus or it was between this? And he told me, wear something nobody wears. So I picked this one out. And ever since, it became a really emotional scent for me. Blessed Baraka. And if you wear it, I think you feel blessed, right, Steven? That's what you say?
Yeah, the word Baraka, whenever you say Baraka, it's supposed to impart a blessing on people. And so that's really cool, man.
So I got blessed and blessed my godson, and I love that little fucker to this day.
Oh my God. That's awesome. It's always nice to be able to associate it with a family member.
Yeah. So what's your
That's
next
amazing.
pick?
So my next one, speaking of family members, this is when I merged my family with my wife's family. And so this is actually the scent that I wore during my wedding. And I know it's a bit of a cheesy, sort of stereotypical, been there, done that kind of a scent. I know a lot of people are huge fans of this. There are entire Facebook groups dedicated to this fragrance. But this one is Creed Aventus. And the one that I have on display here, I know. This is the ZO1 batch that people talk about online, but I've been through like 6 or 7 bottles of Aventus.
That's the living legend?
This is the legend. There's only a teeny tiny bit left in here. I'll probably have enough for like one wearing.
I'm sure people will buy it for $600-$700.
I surely hope not. But in any case, I love wearing this fragrance. I actually wore it all throughout my honeymoon as well. And so whenever I smell it, this is a fragrance that I typically reserve for really good occasions. And I want to associate positive memories with it.
That's the nice scent. I like that one too. That was my first niche buy. Well, it was a gift, but it was my first niche introduction.
Sure.
Niche. And I think everybody's introduction is Creed, Aventus, or whatever.
Or an Aventus clone or something like that, right? Yeah.
So the next one for me really shouldn't be no surprise if you guys watch my channel. And this one is coolwater. To me, this one reminds me of Christmas, opening my first fragrance. This was the fragrance that lead me onto this game. And over here in Mr. Adolescence, that's the scent of the day. He took it. He was like, I'm going to wear it. I'm like, okay, sure. You didn't even ask, but you just sprayed it. And yeah, I liked it. I fell in love with it. It's been my signature scent. Got me so many compliments. Got me my first kiss. And so many emotional things come with this one that I will always be in my collection. And I was glad that I found the original formulation. And just happy. This was one, coolwater.
That's awesome. Apparently somebody on eBay let it go for $40.
Yeah, they let it go for $40 and he didn't know what he had, so
they didn't know what they had.
And he bought it and we kept on arguing prices till he said, you know what, messaged me, he was like, just take it for $40. I was like, all right, give it to me.
That's awesome. So we actually looked up the batch code of it as well, and it said that it's 5 years and 5 months old, but the batch codes are repeated every 10 years. So this one is potentially 15 years old, which is a long time to have a bottle of coolwater, but it smells great, and it actually smells much more rich and full than the current formulation.
Yeah. Ha, 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 in your face.
So the next one that I want to talk about here is, so this is something that I do quite often whenever I talk about fragrances that commemorate occasions or they mark a memory of things for me. This is a fragrance that I purchased prior to me going on a cruise with my wife. And so I bought this one knowing that it was going to be really good for the summertime. My wife and I left to go on a cruise. It was like a 7 or 8 day cruise. And I wore this one practically every single day on that cruise. And I'm also convinced that my room steward dropped my bottle because it doesn't spray anymore. But I bought some of the more recent versions of it. But this is by Jean Gaultier.
Superman?
I also have Superman. And I know there's like an airlines edition or something like that. But if you can tell, I have worn this one a lot. And so
that was a really good fragrance. Actually, I got a compliment from somebody. She's like, you smell delicious. I'm like, okay. Damn. I'm like, hold it, ho. We're in public.
That's awesome. It's a little bit on the sweet side, but it's also very bright, citrusy, minty.
It's a really nice summer scent. It's unoffensive, everything. You got it.
Absolutely. You want me to pass you this one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've smelled that one for the first time today, too.
So this one right here, this one reminds me of, it's really Royal Richmond, leather, lime, citrusy fragrance, really masculine. And this one reminds me, when I smell it, reminds me of my family in Peru. I really do like it, masculine scent. If you were to see the commercial, I'll link the commercial in the bottom. And you'll just see the commercial, masculine type of scent. The girl's waiting for him in the bar. He's just getting there, all power, alpha male type of guy. This reminds me of my family in Peru, and every time they come, this one is the one they give me. So it's a nice sentimental side for me.
It's funny, I just got a whiff of it. You opened it up, and I don't know what you did there, but I actually got a whiff of it.
You like it?
I do like it. It's more of like in a Shipra territory, a little bit barbershoppy as well, but it's a very nicely done leather. Not aggressive by any means.
No, it's not.
The next one...
Manly scent.
Right? The next one that I would like to talk about is also very sentimental for me, and it brings back a lot of memories because This is the fragrance that I was wearing when my daughter was born. And I know I've mentioned this on my channel before, but I always thought to myself, on that day when my daughter smells me for the first time, I want her to have that. I mean, I know she's a newborn baby and probably her senses are overwhelmed, but I was like, what is the scent of like a gentleman, like somebody who's a father, somebody who's a provider, somebody who's really positive person. And this one just came to mind. I love the way that it smells. And this one is 1725 Casanova by Histoire de Parfum. And it's in the wheelhouse of like Christensen, New York, Invasion Barbare by MDCI Parfum. But there's just something about this one I really, really enjoy. And it's also quite on the affordable side as well. And so I love the scent. It just reminds me of the birth of my daughter. So I love it very much.
So the next one for me is one that I worn as a kid, and really just I felt cool with this. That's what Givenchy was trying to portray with this one. When if you look at the thing, the cool guy with the back hair, and this one was Givenchy Blue Label. As you can see, this is not my original one. This is my second one that my brother bought me for my birthday. It's nice of him. He also bought me this one. It's a really cheap and inexpensive fragrance. I'm kind of sad it didn't pull through as it did, because this was my go-to fragrance, my compliments. Longevity is not that good on it, but for the summertime it's really nice and unoffensive.
Yeah.
And again, it got me the compliments I wanted. Little kid, wore it every time, and it would always be in my collection. This one, Givenchy Blue Label.
That's awesome. That's one that I never owned, but it smells really good.
It does. I know what I picked, Steven.
I know. Good taste, man. Good taste.
But yeah, pretty much those are the ones that are memories. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to make this a tag video. Who do you want to tag?
Oh my God. Who do I want to tag? That's a good question. I would like to tag James from Outlaw Frags.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to see him make such a video, if he hasn't already done so.
Who else?
Oh, I get to pick two.
Three.
Okay. All right. I would like to tag Cameron Bird as well. And so if you see this video, I would like to tag you. And I would also like to tag Chris from Casual Sense.
Oh, that's nice. I want to tag... Let's see if Carlos does it. I tagged him before, but he hasn't. Carlos. I want to tag also another person. Who do I want to tag? There's so many people out there that you want to tag.
There's like over 100, yeah.
There's so many people. Let's see. Carlos is one. I was going to tag Steven because he wanted to be in it, but he's already here.
But I'm in it.
He's in it. Whether he wanted to or not, I came in here and he did it. Carlos. Let's see if Andrea Curly Sense does it. And let me see. And Chris from One Accord Fragrances.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So those are that you've been tagged. And I will put all of his information down in the bottom. But he doesn't need no cloud, because you already know who he is as soon as you see him in the professor of the fragrance game.
Oh, please. Okay.
And him, and pretty much, yeah, as always, wear what you want, buy what you want. And I will definitely see you next time. And if I don't, it's because you're not subscribed. Remember, just because it's niche doesn't mean it's always good. And just because it's designer doesn't mean it's always bad. Peace. I am out of here.